like trying to, you know, pretend that she's all being charming and whatever. I took off, and that's the first time I saw the narcissistic fear or shame reaction. Um, Later on, I started dating this girl, you know, and it was really cool because uh, she helped me out a lot, and I helped her out a lot. It didn't work out in the end, we were both we're both very passionate people, and you know, we both exploded in the end. But I hope she's doing well, and I still have great feelings for her, even though things didn't end up so well. But I mean, my bad in a way. Uh, but anyways, I hope she forgives me someday. I didn't cheat on her or anything like that. It wasn't something like that. But I was inappropriate, and I wasn't cool. All right. Anyways, I'm not gonna talk about that. But she's all right. She survived. Just kidding. No. All right. So, anyways, she has this ex-boyfriend who is a narcissist, and I know that he's a narcissist because that guy used to date a friend of mine, really good friend of mine. And one time, actually the day I met him, this was like 12 years ago. Um, this guy, we were at the bar. It was, my girlfriend, well, his girlfriend, my friend, him and me. All right. So it was like a couch thing basically. So it was, you know, this guy I had to get up, in order for him to walk out of the store. And right across from us, there's a store that led to the karaoke side of the bar. Meanwhile, we were waiting for my girlfriend, the girl I was dating back then. Uh, so all of a sudden, this really, honestly, I mean, imagine, I mean, I don't know, it was even better looking than Britney Spears back then. Honestly, this gorgeous, beautiful looking girl, walking inside the bar, from the karaoke section. And eventually I did look at her, but I mean, it was just like, well, this guy, he pushes me over. He's like, oh my God, can you believe that? I just look at, I look at my friend. I was like, are you going to let this? I mean, are you for real? Are you going to let this guy do this? And she just gave me this look like, oh, he's so handsome. I was like, oh, come on, dude, you're being devout. I mean, I didn't know about narcissism back then. I mean, just last year I found out about it. But I mean, I was totally annoyed by it. As soon as my girlfriend came over, that she came inside the bar, I said, you know what, we're taking off. I can't take this guy. He's stupid. He's an asshole. So turns out that he's the guy that dated my ex girlfriend. Um, so I told my girlfriend, hey, I know that guy. Where do you know him from? Well, I told her the story, and she's like, oh yeah, that sounds like him. It was him. I was like, all right, all right. So unfortunately for this guy, he goes right next to he was sitting right next to my one of my best friends, and his best friend, you know. So I sit down. I was I was carrying my cell phone. Actually, it was a little camera, but I was pointing to myself. And we were talking about clothes and something. This guy was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like that far. You see the branch? I mean the trunk, the tree trunk, that far. He was that far from me. Maybe closer, just a little bit, like a foot, maybe. And he was wearing pink. So fortunately, somehow, um, my best friend's best friend, he was talking about clothing, and I was like, I don't know, man, but I get really annoyed by people who dress, by guys actually, pricks that wear, dress with pink. And man, I I promise you guys, I mean, you gotta believe me. This guy, he did like a moonwalk. He was like, I mean, he shriveled. I don't know. It was funny, and that's when I learned. I was like, oh, you're scared. I'm like, all right, you know. I'm starting to like this narcissistic shame and fear reaction. And there's a little more to that story. I triangulated this guy because he still kept on going to places where my ex girlfriend and I used to go, but we didn't come across each other. But I I saw pictures of the guy. Besides one of my ex girlfriend's friend, she told us like, hey, we saw this guy over here, so he was probably trying to cause controversy or something like that. Again, I was like, all right. Oh my goodness, I'm such a prick in a way. All right, so I went to look for him on Facebook. I saw his profile picture. Underneath him was like two other profiles with the same name. I made a screenshot. I posted it on my wall, on my feedback, and I said, well, I don't know. I haven't decided yet which of the three I'm gonna pick, but it looks like the three look resistant to punches and kicks and stuff like that, and I want to keep on training. It turns out that one of the uh, so stupid. Turns out that one of the profiles was his dad. A very well respected musician here in Mexicali. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't know it was his father. All right, so it turns out that this guy and I, we have 72 people in common. Imagine that. And out of those 72 people, none of them came over in his rescue or, trying to tell him something, except for one guy who actually was, you know, um, a narc. Spoke to that guy, telling him that I was a prick and that please go and kick his ass. Um, this guy, fortunately, we know each other, and we started talking about it. And he's like, "Hey, man, that's not the way to do it. I mean, you don't smear someone like that in public. You gotta take it, in another way. That's not cool. All right, you know what? I told him I know exactly what I'm doing. Do me a favor, give him my phone number, tell him to call me, and you know, make an appointment or something. Because we gotta figure this shit out." It's like, okay, okay, no problem, man. I got you. Like 40 minutes later, this guy calls me back, and he's like, "Oh man, you know what? I owe you an apology." And I'm like, "Why?" Because he said he's not interested. I was like, "Oh man, I mean, for reals?" Yeah, I mean, he just wanted me to go and kick your ass, and that was it. But I mean, I told him, "Hey, let me talk to this guy first, and let's see what's the deal with him." And you know what? Honestly, I'm glad you did it that way because um, it proves that he's just a loser and a coward. Imagine if I would want to count with his ass, to if I get over in a fight or something, he's not gonna help me out in anything. He's probably gonna run away like a little pussy. Sorry about that, like a little sissy, whatever. I don't know, like a coward he is. And he's like, I mean, do you like picking on fights or something? I'm like, no, I'm not a fighter or anything like that. I mean, I know that I have to throw punches whenever I have to defend myself, and that's it. I mean, it takes so much for me to lose my temper or to get rid of the fear of getting in a fight. Eventually. But if I have to, well, I will. You know, that's how it is. I mean, I've been punched before. I've been, uh, I got a scar right here. Um, another one over here, and I got a stab over here, etc. So I've shared my moments with that kind of stuff. Um, Now, the reason why I did this, is um, the guy showed that he was scared of me, and I didn't want to keep on, pushing his on, provoking him or anything. But since he started showing up at places and stuff like that, I was, I have a temper as well, and I said, I mean, this guy's afraid of me, so you know what? If we're gonna roll some punches or something, let's do it. I don't care. Let's see what happens. So I took the risk, and that's it. There's my answer. Haven't heard from him anymore. You know, I think it did try some stupid thing on me, like another. It would try to smear me or something, but um, the guy who was supposed to kick my ass, he has like 5,000 people on his Facebook account, so he took care of smearing him and letting everyone know how much of a wuss he is. So there you go, guys. I mean, honestly, these guys are cowards. They're like kids. Once you understand that, there's no reason for you to be afraid of them. Unless they're like borderlines or something like that. Then yeah, or if he's totally a psychopath, like an Agent A or what type A or type yeah, type A. Well then you get you're dead. That's simple. You're dead. So be careful with that kind of people. But the narcs, they're just they're just like kids. I mean they're toxic and they're but they teach you important lessons in life. They give you boundaries, they give you self-respect. They make your self-esteem grow. They're teachers, basically. But it doesn't mean that once you have learned, you cannot, you know, overpass the teacher, right? So you gotta teach them a lesson as well. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. This is all that I got for right now. Later on, I'm gonna tell you about my ex narc and her new supplies, hoovering. Both of them. Oh, that's a good one as well. It's as intriguing as this one. Now the only person I have not been able to get back on is on my mom, but she'll get her turn one day or another. And just it's that way. I mean, I don't hate her or anything, but I'm just looking forward for it. I'm so freaking evil. All right. Uh, I mean, I don't know if I should admit this, but I mean, I did become a super empath, but sometimes I get, you know, a little too, how can I say this? Dark empath. You know, it's more like going into supernova. I get I get frustrated and I simply go and attack these people in the way they deserve it, and that's it. You know. All right, guys. Well, have a good day. I I'll be seeing you next time.